Hey everybody, and welcome back to day 3 of our National Farm Machine Show event. And well, we are going to go over to the West Wing. I said this is day 3. It's my day 3. It's going to be your day 4 because we did split up the South Wing into 2 different videos. So we are right here, kind of at the entry of North Wing. That's where we started day 1. Day 2 and day 3 took us over here to the South Wing. And then day 4, we're gonna come back. We're gonna walk through the Freedom Hall Coliseum lobby and over here to the West Wing, where we hope to kind of explore everything, and also maybe get a chance to go over to the Broadbent Arena, where we'll be able to take a look at some of the tractor pull tractors and trucks. Now, we didn't go to the tractor pull this year, but we did go a few times last year. So if you want to check out that video, go ahead and look that up on the channel. We have a special National Farm Machine Show tractor pull video. And welcome to the West Hall. Like I said, this is a much smaller venue of the various areas that we've looked at so far. And a good chunk of it is going to be kind of focused around cattle operations. We're kind of over in the old part of the building, or the old part of the venue. With this being the 60th anniversary, in the main lobby, there's been a video running that that talks about kind of the history of the show, and it turns out that I believe the South Wing that we looked at last 2 days was an expansion in the mid 2000 teens, maybe.
We'll put that behind the 43. That's a lot of fun.
Another auger wagon here. The Balzer. Now, typically, this booth has a huge slurry tanker also with giant tires, but well, I don't see that here this year. It was a 3-axle version. You can obviously go back and check previous year's coverage if you want to see that, but it's kind of fun. Sometimes you'll see people sitting in the wheel wells to kind of take a load off during the event. So what we're going to see here are going to be kind of more typically smaller, more niche vendors. Grasshopper mowers.
will do so. I'll tell them.
Now, in addition, there is a
Enjoy your bag
big
of goodies.
craft
Hey,
hall
thank you.
or craft area up on the upper level of Hall C. That's an area I typically haven't covered in any of these videos. It can get rather crowded in there if you go kind of mid to late day. If that is something y'all would like to see maybe in future years, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to add it and incorporate it into possibly another year's series of videos.
Good deal. Thank you. Yep. Until you get stopped. Yeah. Are you going
You're welcome, buddy. Yeah, that's why we're here for you guys. Get done with the prep. So have you seen the wheels before? So this is our guaranteed
And you have two changes.
There's something for everyone and something for every need. But again, imagine being this in your gaming room and setting it up for some hyper-realistic farm sim. Maybe we can get a tractor seat as your next gaming chair. Typically, we're going to see more drones in today's video. I've seen lots of drones in the West Hall previously. We're going to be using these to kind of sky your fields and spot spraying, as well as other agricultural uses. Definitely an upsize from, or an upgrade from your traditional little hobby drones. In fact, maybe we can try to keep track of how many drones we see today. This would be, I guess, drone booth 2.
Stop, dude.
Good afternoon.
We had good luck.
Speedy.
He obviously has to trust the attorney.
Yeah, we just say, so yeah, but it must be more than that.
And we're at drone booth number 3, we believe it is, Kentucky State University. Post digger, post driver, in this job of repairing fence. Wilson trailers.
Shut them right back on the back.
Triolet, is that probably butchered completely, but we've got a big self-propelled feed mixer. Very similar to the feeding robot system in game. This is the booth that I was thinking about with respect to maybe having a smaller manure spreader than the ones we've already seen. They typically have a little small round baler over here. Maybe we'll come upon it briefly. Econo wrap, bale wrappers, bale transport. See the little round baler this time. Oh, a little disappointing. It's a cute little thing. I think it made like 3-foot bales. storage, and the like. Grain bin rescue. Getting trapped in a bin, having a cave in. When you're emptying a bin, but you've got maybe grain, corn that's a little bit too moist and it's kind of formed a hard crust layer, but you're emptying the bin and a void forms underneath that. Somebody might get into the bin to try to work in it or clean it out, and next thing you know there's a cave in and you slide down and maybe get covered up by the grain, similar to kind of like an avalanche scenario. 4-post lifts. 2-post lifts. Push brooms. Push brooms are a thing of the past. So we got a rock picker. Screening bucket. Now we saw the Massey double baler yesterday. We would kind of have an add-on option for that. The bale butler.
You ready to go out?
And we might see the Red Baron bale accumulator later today. They're typically here in this section of the show. So what to expect next year with respect to the new expanded event space. This building, 600,000 square feet, they were saying, is currently under construction. What we're looking at is the back end of the convention center now. The middle being the arena where the tractor pull is done. And then we have the north wing, we have the south wing, so I don't know how much or how big the south wing is with respect to this expansion, but 600,000 square feet being added to this space is a significant increase in exhibition space. So we might be hard pressed to get everything in the 4 days of the show. Wingfield Harrows. Again, we're here pretty early each day, trying to get here before it gets super crowded. And I'm over in the west side, which I feel gets a bit less traffic in general. It's kind of why I like to cover this area later on in the week, because Friday is going to be very busy in the main building. And tomorrow, Saturday, you're seeing this Saturday. Saturday is going to be the busiest day of the entire show. Mostly families that can't come out or choose not to come out, you know, while kids are in school and other things. And we have drone, let's say 4, right? We're keeping track. Booth 4.
Where we need it.
Woodchuck bedding spreader. Now this is something we need in game, right? A bucket and then an auger, and check out the video. It just shoots the bedding. You can also use it as shown here. Feed. That's an interesting deal for sure. Alcoda pressure washers, pressure washing solutions, yeah. Made it back to the back side of the lift booth. You know, no more crawling around underneath things to do service. That would have been handy for sure growing up. More C-tote carts.
I figured to use that in the truck.
Boston equipment. Big post hole driver. And then Samez here. All right, we've seen some of this stuff. Feel like we could have used that snowplow a few months ago. Watch out for the skunk. No, it's not real. This booth has that joke every year. stay back 300 feet. I don't know if that's far enough. That thing is, yeah. Pumps and other such irrigation. Or fertilizing. I always get a kick out of this setup.
You can have the remote. Well, no wire to the fan.
Back to our pumps and drag line stuff. Pumps and hoses comes to mind. Popular add-on. Hopefully we'll see come back to Farm Sim 25. But it's not Giants to bring it back. It's a third-party DLC in 22. So it's really going to be a requirement of Creative Mesh. I believe that's who did it. They'll need to put the time in to bring that forward. Apache bins. Feed troughs. There we go. This, yeah, electric wheelbarrows. Where was these things 30 years ago? Saved me a lot of effort. All right, I said I'd bring you over here and check out the pulling trucks, pulling tractors, and that's where we are, Broadbent Arena. Now this is not where they do the tractor pull. They do the tractor pull in Freedom Hall. But they do stage them here, kind of do the official weigh-in. And it's a perfect opportunity to get up and close with the pulling trucks, talk to drivers.
Off when he red flag.
Last year when we were here wasn't a good year for Team Green. I don't think there was a single John Deere in the finals. Although it's not like there's too much in the way of John Deere on these things at this point. Like I said, if you're remotely interested, go check out the video from last year on the tractor pull. I got runs in there. It's extremely loud in the venue. and these are kind of interesting. The ones with the exhausts shooting out the back are the diesels, and in order to keep the arena from being completely black with smoke, they pipe the exhaust out the arena.
You want to go back here?
Like number 12 is there. It should be this one.
I'll just go there and get, I'll hold one of them guys. I'll go get it. I'll be at
So I don't know how much to read into this, but last year, unofficially, Kermit was here. I was back when Kermit worked with Giants as the U.S. community coordinator, and Giants still had an office in Chicago. Many of us American creators and partners are still a little sore about that, shutting down the office last December, but at any rate, we'll move on. Kermit was here, possibly unofficially, possibly officially, don't really know. But he was here hanging out with a pulling crew, and well, I was hoping, kind of secretively, that maybe Giants was looking to do some sort of sponsorship with a pull or a puller, and that would be one interesting way of drawing attention to the game and the product during the event, but that seems to have not come to fruition. It's kind of a hope and a prayer, I guess you could say, that I had. But maybe one year Giants will get the hint and come to the event in some sort of official fashion, either kind of partnering with a brand like Case or John Deere, or being able to get their own booth. somewhere. But until then, we just kind of represent and show off for folks. And have some interest. Now, Money Pit is a 3-engine design.
Okay. Our phones had that before.
Almost done this section, and then we'll get back to taking a look at West Hall. Again, the tractor pull does have some interest. And if you're still watching this, then you probably are interested. If not, then there is a timestamp down below where you can jump back to the coverage of the hall.
I guess I do.
The video was saying that this event has $300,000 worth of prize money spread across 4 different classes, or 3 different classes. You've got diesel, you have like pro fuel, alcohol, and then the unlimited class. Here we go. We've got a kind of a manually operated weeder here. Vegetables, tobacco, pumpkins. Something I'd like to see brought more in, but I don't know how popular it would be overall. Is kind of more of these specialty vegetables for kind of small, low scale hobby farms, or just kind of, you know, small patch of farmland. Out of your bigger farm, you kind of set up to do, let's say, a pumpkin patch, and then you can seasonally sell those pumpkins and things. So it'll be kind of an interesting little side diversion to your farming. We've got our cues in here. With another farm sim setup. Of course, we have the multi-pack in-game here. If this is a machine you've never really used in-game, it really should give it a go. It's made for small square balers. The small square bales pick them up off the field, and it puts it into a stack of 14. And then that stack of 14 then can be picked up as a single unit. And as it would have it in game, the pack of 14 is the same size as a big square bale. So you can pick up the 14 pack with a big square bale wagon. Definitely an easy way to move small square bales around. MacDon is here. Got one of their big Draper Flex grain headers here.
I use the skid steer by myself.
We also have
There's a problem.
big front mower. Hooked up to the 8000 series Dukes. And then we've got a rear offset mower as well. Penta has returned this year. They are a Canadian brand for all you Canadian viewers. Feed mixers, manure spreaders, here we got one hooked up to a Kenworth. Single screw, dual screw. The limb beaver. Just de-limb your trees. Or the tree be gone.
What it does is this one turns this way and this one turns this way. If you've got a tree laying there and you drive up to it, come straight into the center of it, it's going to grab it and pull it. It's going to throw it from the side. That's right.
Big scraper for pulling off the top layer of soil. This booth always has stuff related to big rock handling, rock removal.
Andy.
You know, it doesn't look this pretty for long. Huge batwing mower. XH 1500.
Bigger stuff.
That's what we need, right? For those of you that collect rocks, first thing I do is turn that off. Trailers, service trailers. Grain bagger. Right, dump your grain to the top. Put your grain in a ag bag. Feature I'd like to see brought in as a standard offering. See, if there's shows like this, I can make my list of things I'd like to see come to the game. As soon as I walk out the door, I forget the whole list. Giants, you want to know what I want to see to come to the game? Watch these 4 videos. You'll hear them.
Yeah, I think he was on.
Look at that. That's what we need. That's the Backsaber 7000. No, it's Kincaid Worker Bee. Nitro manure spreaders. Bale shredder for your big square bales.
Yeah, so
Hooks up to a skid steer.
basically you can change the direction of the fan. This changes the fan direction.
That's one heck of a box blade there.
Hell no.
Like I mentioned yesterday, we're going to see a lot of cattle stuff here. Bale chutes, cattle chutes, not bale chutes, cattle chutes. Cow sorting stuff. We got another tube wrapper. Nice video here, kind of showing the whole operation. As you put more bales on, pushes the bale through. The whole time the wrapper kind of moves in the opposite direction. I see a lot in my neck of the woods, either wrapped round bales in rows along fields or wrapped tubes of bales along the fields. And then you come back and as you want to feed your bales, you just cut open the wrap, extract the bales out you want, and leave the tube there. Oh, look at this little mini mixer.
Brandon's trying to figure out.
Or help the T-Rex ditcher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's my way of doing it.
Well, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. So we represent 8 or 9 companies, and this is just one out of Canada. So this is our territory. So
Out of Canada, the sales guy was saying. Oh, we've got some small manure spreaders. I think they're still bigger than what we saw the other day. Duo lift liquid transport trailers. Of course, we've got a spray support trailer here in the back. We've seen various iterations of trailers like this in the other hall. We got racks there where we can put our totes of concentrate. And then we got tanks of water, mixing pumps, and everything. Got a little ag vac. Soon going to a volunteer fire department. It's good to see. And then we've got a big ag vac.
why we as a sales consultant, marketing team, do things that we do.
We'll come back to Spartan here in a moment.
They just got it set.
Landau and Brillion. Your small seed drill. And for your small vegetable farmers, hobby farms, or just small test patches. Then you bring out the big Landau to do your main fields, right? lawn mowers. Kind of your, in my opinion, I feel like the high-end mower. I mean, if you've got dual cup holders, right? Where's your holder for a tablet? Let me have a Spartan side by side. Zoom that out a little bit. Yeah, walk-ins trailers, and what this is really here to demonstrate is the movable floor. To unload your product, or Wilkins trailers. Oh, drone booth 5. Then we have kind of a drone servicing support trailer. Casco, seaters, overseaters. Rollers, little sprayers, spreaders. Is this drone booth 5 or 6? I've suddenly lost count.
Yeah, so the rest of the booth is
Another variation on a support truck. Legacy steel buildings. Now the second DLC relates to shades of steel and something else. Kind of very cryptic hints. But I don't know, I kind of thought maybe, just maybe it could mean some sort of building DLC. We'll have to wait and see. Mandako. Big turf rollers, discs.
And she's
He's like, next time, okay.
I mentioned hopefully we would see the bale bearing, and there it is. It's a huge, small square baler that will bale small squares are, well, not so much bale as small squares. They'll take a small square from a baler here, take it in, and then through various internal mechanisms, output a big bale module, if you will. There you go. Similar to the Arcusin, but still different. Who wants to see something like this? That would be cool. That would be super cool to have this in game. And then we have a square baler. Again, small squares. That you could hook up the bale bearer into. Very, very heavy duty. Very heavy duty baler. Oh. Drone booth, is it 6 or 7? I've lost count. I had no doubt that I would lose count, honestly. Best Way Ag. Tankers, tanks, mixers, sprayers. Things like this would be really nice to be able to add to your side-by-sides and give them some functionality. Oh, drone 7 or 8. Let's just go with 8. Booth 9.
Completely eliminate grid settings. Spreading fertilizer over large areas requires elite power. The DJI Agris T50 has a 50 kilogram spreading payload and a flow rate of up to 109 kilograms per minute. We've doubled the spreader rotor's torque and designed a new spiral channel spinning disc. The spread material more uniformly. You can also switch to smaller hover gates for more overall spreading with higher precision. When facing complex environments, the DJI Agris T50's active phased array radar, with double the number of RF channels, grants higher detection precision. DJI Agris T50 can achieve multi-directional obstacle sensing. With 2 sets of binocular vision sensors, it can accurately sense terrain and detect obstacles in detail. For automatic obstacle bypassing and terrain following over steep slopes. The radar system works with a high-resolution FPV gimbal camera and can conduct aerial surveys of slopes up to 20 degrees to meet most orchard operation needs.
More feed mixers. From Rotomix. Got a video of how they spread in tank. Haze. I always think about the logistics of setting this show up. Because such large machinery, you know, there's definitely a staging order that you're going to have to go through in order to get things through big doors like this, or big doors in the other buildings, kind of load from the middle in, or from the far end of the building away from the door to the door, because you can't put too much big stuff in by the door without blocking, you know, access to get other things out or in. More tree grinders, brush grinders, land clearing machines. My idea of what forestry should be like, just make it go away. Another ag bagger. Again, something I'd like to see brought into the game officially, as opposed to just being a mod. Typically, it's only going to be a PC only mod, right? That's why we want to see it brought in officially for all platforms. And it'd be nice to see, like, maybe have the ability to do things like this. Move your cattle around, sort your cows, use cattle gates. Oh, drone booth 10. Or is it 9? I don't know. You all tell me. Fuel and service trailers. Alright, just put this in the back of your truck. razzle and deaf. All right, folks, we leave the week as we started, walking out of the main entrance to the North Hall. We saw all of the South Wing. We saw all of the West Wing. And, well, we saw all of the North Wing as well. Full tour of the show. If you can't come to the show, this is probably one of your best ways of seeing what's been being offered at the show. And well, look forward to returning for my 5th time to the National Farm Machine Show next year in 2027 as they open up the new expansion. Again, an additional 600,000 square feet of exhibit hall space. A pretty significant expansion to the show overall. If you can ever make it out, encourage you to plan and come. Look for hotels, motels early because they do book up pretty quick. Don't be too worried about having to drive a little bit in order to get to the show. Parking is ample and $20 a day in and out parking. Definitely bring snacks, bring drinks, or plan to go off-site, get a better deal for your lunch. And of course, if you're into tractor pulls or just want to see what it's all about, keep an eye on the National Farm Machine Show website because I think tickets go on sale toward the end of this year for next year's event. And well, Friday night's sold out. So Friday night's kind of the semifinals. Saturday is the finals. Again, do all the YouTube things. If you like the video, go ahead and hit like, subscribe if you want to see more Farm Sim 25 action, map videos, live streams, and the like. Share this video with anyone who you think might be interested in ag. And for everyone that came out last night to the meetup, glad we all had a great time. And until next time, happy farming.